Welcome. My name is G. You're watching Allastrology. How does this relate in someone's life? Why does it matter? When is it going to happen? And so forth. Let's talk about the new beginning, the new thing that you can look forward to, a clean slate, almost as though I'm starting something over. Not necessarily over, but I get another chance. And this time I'm going big. This is the November 2022 new moon, and we pay attention to new moons because it is a time of creation. It is a time when the energies of the universe basically line up in certain ways where we can make something, we can create something, okay? And that is like masculine and feminine energy. Think about that, right? Masculine and feminine. November 23rd, 2022. And it's at 4:56 p.m. Central Standard Time. The belief is that the 12 hours leading up to the time of the new moon is the ripe time. It's the time, right? RIPE, the ripe time when you're using the intentions or praying or maybe writing things down or meditating, whatever it is that you do to center yourself and yet at the same time focus on goals that you have. That's new moon energy, right? So that's, normally we'll say metaphysicians, magicians, step up, right? It's time. But each individual in their own life, they are the metaphysician of their own life. This is a new moon in Sagittarius. And when I say new moon, that just means the sun and the moon are together, right? That they're at the exact same degrees. And that's what makes a new moon, together. So we say when the mother and the father get together, they can make a baby. So now you understand the point of creation or the possibility for creating, right? Now that we have that piece, we need to understand the Sagittarius piece. Freedom and optimism. It's ruled by the planet Jupiter. It's very expansive and big. It tends to add to things. It can be the exaggerator. What else is Sag? Well, Sag is seeing into the future. So this is a great time to make plans for your future. Yes, it's a good time to write them down. And I'm not saying, when I say making plans, I'll put it like this. This is goals for your future, right? These are like, okay, I want to go and travel here because Sagittarius is travel. It's like, these are the places I want to go visit. That's Sagittarian energy. So it's not necessarily driving around your neighborhood. You could get in a car, but you're going long distances. You're driving to the other side of the country. That's Sagittarius. Or get in the plane and go, right? Go over the water, over the pond, go to somewhere else. Foreign lands, foreign languages, Sagittarius energy. It's also higher learning, a good time to go back to school or possibly to become the teacher. Go to conferences, seminars, whatever, attend lectures, something about higher learning. It's also about spirituality and religion, right? So, do you become that religious teacher? Are you going to be experimenting? Adventure, Sagittarius. Think of Sagittarius being the traveler. What does Sagittarius do when they go somewhere they've never been? They're experimenting. They're immersing themselves in the culture of that place. So it's the food. It's just everything that's within that culture. And do you feel a sense of freedom when you're doing that, right? You're not at work, you're traveling, you're eating out, you're pretty much doing the things you want to do normally, right? So there's that sense of exploring, but yet learning while I'm exploring. We can learn so much just from relating to other people or being around other cultures, being around someone who is wiser, Sagittarius. Wisdom, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius energy is the seeker, and it's a new beginning. So it's a great time to say, okay, if I ever get the money, this is what I want to do. And if it's a bit big, if it's a bit like, wow, that's really out there, that makes sense because that's what this energy is all about right now. It's go big or go home. Sagittarius is also the judicial system. I know it's the unfun part of astrology. It's the more serious side. It's the judicial system, the people who make the laws. Sagittarian energy in the court system, so it is the judges as well. The judges, so the Supreme Court. So I'll point out Venus right here. Venus brings harmony. Venus brings gifts. In Sagittarius, Venus doesn't do too bad there. The only caution here is the overindulgence, because Venus likes things that are sweet, that are good. Venus wants to eat fine food, rich food, quality, but yet tasty. It can add to things. So that's the overindulging possible factor in there. Like, think about it. When you go traveling, what do? You eat, you've never had them before, you're drinking, right? You're just like, hey, when in Rome, right? So you just gotta be careful. And the other thing is Mercury's right here. These sisters are together. It's Venus and Mercury together, which means they're agreeing upon things. Like, they're both in Sag. So they're both like, yes, these are the plans about the future. This is where I want to travel. This is what I want to learn about. This is where I want to adventure. This is where I want to go seeking. It's exploring type of energy. It's courageous. It's kind of like it puts its boot on the ground energy. It's not going to sit still because it's fiery. It's Sag, and it's going to talk about it because Mercury's here. But yeah, something about our future, possibly travel plans even. Now, let's remember Mercury can also be coworkers or peer, somebody in the neighborhood even, like a next door neighbor, right? And let's go take a look at Mars over here. It's in a trine with Saturn. So this is beautiful. Trine means beautiful. It just makes things easy, right? Remember, Mars physical body, Mars takes action with what it's thinking. It can be assertive forms of communication. But remember, folks, our minds and the way our brains work, we literally are cutting in new neural pathways. We are possibly changing timelines. Oh my gosh, that's been happening intensely for the last 3 months. And even more so now, between the degrees of 8 degrees of Gemini to 25 degrees of Gemini, Mars goes forward and then goes backwards and then goes forward again. So it's like trailblazing through our brain. It's Mars. It's like imprinting new ideas. And at this time, we're super connected to the galaxy and to the cosmos. So when you have all this energy over here in Sagittarius, you're going to get understandings of how things work within society, like the big picture. And again, Mars in Gemini. Remember that Mercury over there, it rules the sign of Gemini. And so having Mars in this energy, Mercury's going to gain in numbers, and so will Venus. So at one point, as the month gets further on, like when we get into December, Mars being here in Gemini, if you would light up, please, Mars. There you go. At 21, it's an exact opposition to Sagittarius energy in general. Okay. So it's already opposing Hygeia. Hygeia is right here, and it's about our health, the health of our beliefs. Sagittarius, if I didn't mention this, your philosophy on life, what you believe in, what your beliefs are about freedoms, what your beliefs are about the judicial system, what your beliefs are about. I'm hearing it's about our rights. Like some folks feel like they have like a birthright. They were born, they look a certain way, and they have like this. I don't want to use the word superiority, but it's not in my head right now. But you know what I'm talking about. Put it in there in the comments below. Tell me what that was that I couldn't think of. But Mars is at almost the exact opposite of that here. Remember, you see this because this is going up now because it's in black. Anytime you see a number in black, it's going up in degrees, going up in numbers, right? So this will go to 20, then 21. But at 19, it's 3 degrees away from this Mars that's heading backwards. Do we still have that belief? Are we reevaluating those beliefs? And are we looking for options? Absolutely, because Mercury is here. Now remember, Mars in Gemini, this is options. This is choice points. This is making decisions. But it's having, again, don't make any major decisions until Mars retrograde is over, and it's not over, and it's not going to be over for a while. So go watch my Mars series. We're just hanging tight. We're understanding that we're not making any permanent decisions. We have goals, we have dreams, right? Because this can be a rather dreamy energy, Sagittarius. Write things on paper. You have Mercury here and Venus, and once Mercury and Venus get out of Sag, they're going to end up going into Capricorn. And when they go into Capricorn, if there was something that was rather fantasy-like or too lofty, they get into the grounded, more realistic sign of Capricorn, which is like the tangible and the material. And it says, hey, we might want to reevaluate that. That was maybe a little, too out there for me. And it might dial it back a little bit. Okay. Which is good because it's like a reality check, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need lots of reality checks right now. Can't say that enough. One of the not so wonderful things about this time would have been actually around Thanksgiving. I've done videos about Thanksgiving already and the week leading up to Thanksgiving. We have, if you look, Neptune over here. So below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.